Hi folks, I hope you're well. So this video is about, there's a question right now saying, will Ruben Amorim walk in basically about 10 days time, I think it is. Well, they've got one more Premier League game and then they've got international break. During the penalty shootout, Amorim was sat there with his head in his hands. He basically realised, oh my God, I'm going to be basically left with pretty much the same squad. I've got 3 new players in, but it's pretty much the same squad as I had last season, who were absolutely blinking awful, who he couldn't rely upon, who wouldn't listen to him, who wouldn't try and do what he was telling him to do, who basically, he understood it that maybe if they didn't play for about 10 years and you could just coach them, then maybe you could get them to listen and do what he's trying to get them to do. But, yeah. As I've said before, the problem is, Man United is a club that has changed manager. So, the players know they can be crap. It doesn't matter. The manager will be changed they want. They can't be fired. They can't be sacked. If a player can't be fired or sacked, and the club can't sell them because they can't, and the player doesn't have to go. If the club find a club that's willing to actually buy that player, and that player says no, the club can't do sod all about it. They have to keep that player, pay his wages, even though they know that player isn't going to put the effort in. Now, to me, if the player isn't going to put the effort in, and that's been evident for a long time, that player is in breach of contract. Therefore, the contract should be torn up. But so far, no club has done it. A club, at some point, has to do it. Because, the players have all the power. That has to change. The only way that's going to change is if players are held accountable for their performances. So therefore they get their bonuses when they play well. When they don't play well, if they're consistently playing poorly, they can be sacked. Same as every other worker in every other area of life. If you're not doing your job, you get sacked. Ruben knows he can't do that right now. He knows that basically the people above him, last season we were told by the media that Man United have basically said that every single player at the club is sellable. They're all basically on the transfer list. Every single one of them. Because they were so blinking poor, we were told that how many of those players have they sold? None. Not one. That's terrible. It really is. For me, Ruben has to be looking at the people above. Fodera, Wilcox, I think his name is, Wilcox. Used to play for Blackburn, and Jim, and whoever else there is above now. He's got to be looking at them thinking, you're taking the mickey. We just saw the last season, you were talking about standards need to be raised. You've left me with the same bloody squad, apart from I've got 3 new forwards, 2 of them are number 10s, right? Which means we've got Bruno, we've got Ahmed, we've got these 2 new players, and Mount, really, when you think about it, all number 10s, right? We've got a blinking influx of number 10s. Previously, what did we have? We had Rashford, who saw himself as a number 10. We had Garnacho, who saw himself as a number 10. We had Anthony, who saw himself as a number 10. So we got Sesko, but Sesko looks like, well, I don't know, because right now we don't have players who are capable of putting crosses in. So again, excuse me, why are you buying Sesko? Why are you bringing in a big forward, tall fella, when you're not putting the balls in for that fella to actually do anything with? Against Grimsby, Sesko looked like he was maybe a £5 million player, not a £75 million player. And it's because Ahmad wasn't putting... Ahmad's crosses, awful. Dorgu's crosses, awful. Excuse me, why are these players even playing then? They're playing as wing-backs. Their job is to get forward and get the ball in there. They're not doing it. Drop them. Get rid of them. Go into the reserves or the youth. Put them there. They can't do blinking worse. They can't. Fans wouldn't mind it. If you've got a player who's actually trying to run past defenders and chipping the ball in, and it just isn't quite working, and occasionally, he loses the ball, and that puts us in a bit of trouble. They won't mind that. Right now, we've got Ahmed, we've got Dorgu, who don't do any of that, really. They lose the ball, but they don't really do anything of use. Not really. Dorgu gets forward, but when he gets forward, guess what he does? He stays forward, and then when the other team breaks, he's way too far forwards. Now there's a hole in the back because he doesn't have the game intelligence to actually say, okay, if the ball's on the right, maybe I need to drop back a bit because I'm a left winger. I'm the left wing back, so therefore when the ball's on the right, I need to step back a bit so I'm covering. He ain't doing it. Leaving a massive blinking hole. So it's like, yeah. The people above have massively failed. And is he going to walk? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Right now, yeah. If he's got pretty much the same goalkeepers, the same defence, the same midfield as he had last season, then the same problems are going to be there. The same problems. Again, why on earth? You've got Wilcox, you've got Ratcliffe, you've got whoever else, Breda and someone else there, whoever they are. They haven't recognised that you cannot rely upon Martinez. He's been injured for 2 whole seasons in a row. You can't rely on Shaw. He's been injured for 4 seasons in a row. Right? You've got to replace them. You can't be thinking you can rely upon these people because you can't. When the journalists are asking Ruben, is Martinez coming back? He should have said it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter whether Martinez is coming back. What matters is when he comes back, is he going to stay fit? Because if not, it doesn't matter. If he's suddenly available, if it only be available for 1 game, it doesn't matter, does it? What United should have done is exactly what Chelsea did. United should have brought in 15 players. 15. And they should have put all the players that were playing last season, every single one of them, on a transfer list. Every single one of them. The reality is, folks, one thing that people need to understand. Teams like Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, they don't sell for profit. They sell because either that player is, has come to a point where he's demanding to go and play for Real Madrid or Barcelona, or because they don't want the player. They realise that player isn't working and they need to replace him, so therefore, they can do without that player, so they just get rid of him. Yeah. United shouldn't be caring at all whether they make money from the players they're getting rid of. They've got players who have been terrible for at least 2 years in a row, who are not willing to put the effort in, are not willing to work. Therefore, for a football club, that's toxic. You've got to get rid of the toxic element at whatever cost. Because the cost of keeping them is going to be a damn sight worse. And Ruben's sitting there thinking, right, okay. It's going to be the same as last year. I've got these same players who aren't willing to actually put the effort in. They're willing to do it against Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, but against any other team, they're not willing to do it. Yeah. They think somehow that they shouldn't have to do it against the other teams. And that's the point. They think against the lower teams, they should be good enough to win without actually putting all that effort in. But they're not. But they play as if they are, because they're not willing to put the same effort in. He wants them to do that. They didn't do it for Erik ten Hag. They're not going to do it for Ruben. As I said, what they had to do was clear the decks completely. They had to basically get rid of every single player and start again. Because, yeah, the understanding in the team was toxic. The way the players behaved against lower clubs was toxic. It spread. So you had to get rid of them. But they kept most of them. So therefore, that toxicity is only going to spread to the 3 new players they brought in. It's highly unlikely the energy of the 3 new players are going to spread to the rest of the team. I said after the Arsenal game, let's see, because people are saying, oh, they press well, they got the ball forward quickly. Okay, let's see. Let's see what they do after this. Because this is Arsenal. They always raise their game for Arsenal and the other big teams. Let's see what they do against the lower teams. And we saw. Bloody awful. Against Fulham, now against Grimsby. Absolutely awful. They do what they do. They don't put the effort in. Therefore, he needed them gone. And they're not gone. So, yeah, let's see what happens. You take care. God bless. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.